Welcome to the Winter Forecast, where every week we'll be breaking down upcoming NFL games, giving you your best advice for fantasy football, and making predictions about just about everything else under the sun. Now, this is our first show, so up to this point we really haven't made any false predictions. We actually have a perfect record. So it should be another great show tonight. I'm Max Winter, a Philadelphia Eagles fan still living in the past.
And I'm Andy Batchelder, and I'm still depressed because of Andrew Luck retiring.
Let's get this started. Well, kicking things off with the Bears and the Buccaneers. Who do you got this week?
I have the Bears. I say that because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt with playing against the Colts. The number one defense in the whole league right now. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing because as a Colts fan, they don't get any attention, and it's the first time we're getting attention without doing something really stupid.
You're sounding like a Colts fan right now.
This is the biggest attention. This is the most attention we've ever gotten since Andrew Luck retiring, I feel like. I mean, it's really sad, but also...
But you look good.
We do look really good on defense. Phil, we're not going to get into the Colts right now. It's all about the Bears, but I'm giving the Bears the benefit of the doubt of going against the number one defense right now. They'll look a lot better against the Buccaneers. I think they'll have a lot more opportunities. They just learned how to play with Nick Foles, which is huge. Every quarterback needs a little bit of adjustment period. Nick Foles, he does a lot of magic. He does everything really well. But when he's actually starting QB for a team, starting off, going into a game, it's kind of big. And it takes some time.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to watch Nick Foles play. Because, listen, I love the guy. But it's like, as an Eagles fan, it's kind of like when you have an amicable breakup, right? Like, even on the best terms, it still hurts a little bit. Even if you're still friends, it hurts a little bit when you then see them afterwards, and you kind of sometimes think about, oh, what could have been? That's Nick Foles when he came in last week against the Falcons. Not against the Colts, obviously, but against the Falcons. It wasn't great for me to see, what could be with the Eagles.
What could have been?
You know, not that there's anything wrong with Carson Wentz. He's still a legend, and he will be, and continue to be, start being incredible again. That is neither here nor there. That and the fact that the Buccaneers are I think they have a stingy defense, underrated defense, and an offense that's only getting better every week with Tom Brady and that chemistry. I think the Bucs have this. I don't think it's close.
I don't think... I won't get too much into it, but I think Mike Evans also just did not practice at some point this week.
He doesn't need to practice. He's good at football.
I think it's an injury related.
No, he's fine. He's good at football.
Whatever.
It's fine.
To each their own.
Great. Next, we're going to have, there we go, the Colts versus the Browns.
Oh, Colts. It's the Colts. They're getting their motions. Sure, they don't have the wide receiving core that they wish that they did have at the beginning of the season, but the defense has finally stepped up. We're going to be missing Okereke, Darius Leonard. Sure. But I don't think that the Browns will pull it off. They had one really good week, but in the typical Ohio fashion, they will fall off again.
I want to give the Browns credit for their win last week.
Big win. Big win.
Because listen, I might say something a little bit later that contradicts me, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Beating the Cowboys in their own stadium and being up as much as they were at that one point sends a message that I heard as an Eagles fan, that we hear you, Max. We understand what you want, and we're going to win this game for you. And I mean, right? That's what we got. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I really appreciated that, and so they're really on my good side. However, this is the Colts, and their defense is really, really good, and the Dallas Cowboys defense is really, really bad. So what we saw last week, I would not expect a repeat, and I don't think it's going to be close on this one either. I just think it's Colts.
I think we agree on that. It pleases my ears to hear you say
it's okay.
Some praise towards the Colts. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't get ahead of yourself. Next, we got the Broncos versus the Patriots. I know this is a tough one.
It's got to be the Patriots.
Yeah, it's
It has
it's
to.
tough one. Yeah.
Broncos are just a sad franchise.
Okay, now here's my question for you.
Okay.
Broncos versus Patriots if Cam Newton is still not healthy.
Oh, that changes things. But, I mean, Bill Belichick would find a way to win against the Broncos. He would absolutely find a way.
I agree. I do, and I do think they'll win this game. I think absolutely be an upset pulled against them. But
Yeah.
it's just a shame that we're not going to see Cam Newton in this game because I've loved Cam Newton with the Patriots.
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Like, I hate the Patriots. I always root for the team against them,
Mhm.
no matter what. I hate them. As a
Yeah.
Colts fan, just like their whole, like, oh, we're from Boston, we're better than everyone, like, that mindset. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But also, it's like...
Boston's the worst.
But, yeah, I mean, massholes, you know.
The worst.
They're the worst. But Cam has really, like, made it entertaining to watch and want to root for him. I'm always a Cam... I love Cam Newton.
I see the Patriots and Cam Newton as like the college experience, okay? All right, so bear with me here. All right,
I'll try.
so it's something brand new, right? Just a completely new chapter, new opportunities, new experiences. You're going to get a little weird with it. You're going to have some read options here and there. You're going to experiment. You're going to do things with the quarterback you haven't been able to do before. But, and we're seeing it this week, it's not going to last, just like college, all right? There is an end
Sad.
to the journey.
Sad.
And unfortunately for the Patriots, that journey is going to end when Cam gets hurt. I don't think he's going to last the whole season.
He never knows.
It's just not going to happen. You're already on your second beer. We
We're-
are on our, second game, third game. You're already on your...
I'm on pace.
All right, fair, I respect it. All right, props. All right. Well, I think we're both locking in the Patriots for that one.
Absolutely.
All right, so then Raiders versus Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL right now. Are you disagreeing?
No, like I see why you would say that as like a casual NFL fan,
Oh my God.
but as someone that like watches football,
Are you
and,
kidding?
like pays attention.
Are you kidding?
Listen, the Raiders have something magic brewing right now. All right, John Gruden has something special brewing. The Chiefs, they beat the Patriots. Okay, they beat Jason.
Baltimore.
They beat Jason Stidham. Okay, yeah, but in any given week,
They beat, like,
that's 2
some of the
weeks
best
ago.
teams.
I don't even remember that game.
Oh.
It's the Raiders.
It's
John
going to
Gruden,
be-
this is the game where we realize
Chiefs have
that
so
Las
many.
Vegas is the real deal. It's happening. Mark my words.
Just won't. It just won't.
All right, Eagles versus Steelers.
It's gotta be the Steelers. It's going to be the Steelers. Eagles
Yeah.
are number one in their division, to be fair, but they're 1-2-1. 1-2-1.
Sorry,
And
all
the
I- all
NFC East, the NFC least. They're so bad.
All I heard is that we are number one in the division.
I'm drinking to this.
Are you number one in your division? Are you? I genuinely don't know.
It depends on what the Titans do. Their game got delayed. Okay. Okay. Well, like they may lose.
So just
if they
for-
lose,
No, just for the record. So my team is number one in their division, and your team isn't. In your
we have
division.
more wins against like better teams than you have faced.
I don't think really the specifics matter as much as the standings. So good to know.
So-
However, I will agree with you on this one that the Steelers will win this, not because the Eagles are necessarily the dumpster fire that they may or may not be, but because the Steelers are hot and they're coming off of a bye week, which they didn't anticipate originally. But all that aside, as long as they're healthy and good to go, I think the Steelers are going to pull this out against a very, very, very talented
Thank you for being
NFC East division leading Philadelphia Eagles. Dolphins?
Hold on. It frustrates me
Mhm.
that one of the teams from the NFC East are going to be in the playoffs.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if like the Titans lose and the Colts like end up winning the division. The Titans, who very much well deserve to be in the playoffs, they might get a wild card or something. Who knows? They may not. But like they might be like, I don't know, like
I mean, listen, if we want to talk about fair,
frustrates me.
right? Like, yes, that's a problem. But I'll say two things. One, all right, the Saints, they went 7-9 that one year. All right, and they won their division. All
So
right?
dumb.
Not the Saints. I'm sorry. The Seahawks went 7-9 that one year. All right, that was the year that Marshawn Lynch had that huge touchdown run against the Saints to beat them in the playoffs. All right, so we've seen that people can earn their keep once they're in the playoffs.
It just frustrates me because they're not the best team. They don't deserve this. All right, well, we'll move on.
One more thing.
One more thing.
There's going to be a seventh team in either conference this year that makes the playoffs. So already there's going to be a team in the playoffs that shouldn't be in the playoffs.
Like the Eagles. Not that they'll make.
I'll take the playoffs.
Okay,
no, yeah.
Hold on.
That's an
Yeah.
insult. No. Yeah. Oh, you got me. Giants versus Cowboys.
It's got to be the Cowboys. Giants are horrible. Horrible.
Listen, it hurts me to say, but yeah, the Cowboys. I mean, they looked terrible against the Browns. But
I mean, if you lose to the Browns, it's never a good feeling. Never a good scene. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about on this one, I feel like, just because it's the Giants.
Yeah.
Those poor Giants.
Still. Well, up next we have the Ravens versus the Bengals. This is a tough call. I don't know.
Real tough.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Lamar Jackson can keep up with someone as talented as Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow's actually shown out.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
All power to him. But Baltimore wins this game.
Yeah.
They have so many more offensive threats. Their defense is better. Everything about them is better.
Yeah.
It's just really unfortunate.
Don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow, he's got a future ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw last week what can happen when there's actually a supporting cast for both Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. There's talent on this team.
It looks great.
It's just covered in layers of shit.
Yeah.
So until those layers have been pulled off, I can't see myself picking the Bengals in many games at all.
I don't think we really need to talk all too much about this one.
So you're picking the Bengals?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Both going Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravens.
That's fair. And here are our quick picks for the week that we just didn't have time to squeeze into regular programming. How are you feeling about your picks this week?
I feel really good. I'm questioning yours, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say the same about yours.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's fine. We'll see who comes out on top.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're on to our fantasy football recap for the week, where we're going to talk about some of the big news and highlights from the week in fantasy football, and then get to some of your burning questions that you guys have at home. So...
that was really bad.
No, it's fine.
That's all right.
Just lost like a lot of viewers.
I would not blame them for unsubscribing.
So this week, all right, Joe Mixon, it finally happened. All right,
It finally did.
I feel like
I was rooting for the guy.
Yeah, I feel like fantasy owners that have him like everywhere have just been waiting and waiting and waiting for this payout. For him to finally have this big game, and I mean he's always been okay, but like it finally happened. I think he had like 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and
he finally lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, everyone should draft like Joe Mixon in the second round, like even first round. I think some people took him first.
I'm sure
last year and stuff. And how did that pay off? Horribly.
Yeah,
not good.
I think what's also exciting for Mixon is that. Listen, this isn't going to happen every week.
No.
But the Bengals are really only going to get better. I mean, right?
They have. They've only lost in the past, so they have to get better.
Yeah.
Right.
Their blocking hasn't been great. So if they can get better this season, I mean, Burrow looks great.
Yeah.
And for what he's working with. And I think that there's more to come. I don't think he'll be at this level all season.
No.
Hell of a terrible offensive line, but I think as they continue to develop over the season, I think it'll it's not going to get much worse.
No.
Yeah. But here's my thing about Joe Mixon. Okay. Here's who he plays next week: the Ravens. After that, he plays the Colts. Joe Mixon, if you own him, you got your week, right? Like you should feel rest assured he's worth keeping on.
Absolutely.
But the next 2 weeks are going to be tough sledding for him. And I don't know if, depending on what kind of depth you have at running back, he's not going to produce at the same value that you expect him this week.
Tough spot for Joe Mixon owners, right? He's probably your RB2 at this point.
I mean, if you're
and with so many people injured, you kind of have to keep him in. But I would put him in as a flex.
Yeah.
If you have someone who could...
Depending on what you got, yeah.
Depending on what you got, put him in as your flex.
I mean,
just with those those next 2 weeks for him, Ravens then Colts, 2 really good defenses.
I feel like we're talking to someone right now that had like Saquon Barkley and like Christian McCaffrey and has like no running back depth now, and so we're like talking from like our golden pedestal, like, oh, just put him in your flex, and they're like, he's my entire team.
Well, no, I'm that guy. I have to start Ronald Jones and Devontae Freeman, and I'm like, who's in my flex? Like this random guy off like the waiver wire.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting 2 tight ends in one league as my flex. You know how messed up that is? Who does that? No one does that.
It's not a good look.
No, it's horrible.
Moving on to burning questions for fantasy football. We got 2 questions from our viewers so far, and given we've had no shows, that's especially impressive.
Good on us.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're already overperforming. So this first one actually comes from Andy Piccolo, crazy enough, and he wants to know how he can stop his players from hitting IR. First off, Andy, I understand, and I feel you.
We all have someone on IR right now.
It's at that point in the season, and this season's been worse than most, I feel like.
Most, yeah.
Which I think is just indicative of why we really do need preseason. The only answer I have is drop them immediately after they get hurt. That way, they never hit IR. And that way, that solves your problem.
My piece of advice would probably be just, before you draft, look at their medical records. Get their doctor's records. Like if they have any pre-existing, I don't know.
Take the insurance approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Not drafting you a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like just draft players with stronger bones and muscles and tendons. It's just that easy.
It's ideal.
Like who likes hitting their head a lot? Don't touch them.
All right, so we have one other question coming in here. Have we seen the best of David Montgomery?
I don't like touching David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I don't. If he's up there, he's like the best available. Like, oh, this is what everyone like. This is average draft position. I'm like, okay, but there's someone better.
This year. Yeah,
he never does. He did really well 1 week. I think it was his 3rd week against some team. He like scored. Well, because I
must have not been very good.
Because I went against him. I went against him that week, which was super unfortunate. Because I'm like, oh, it's David Montgomery, easy week. No, he went off that week because that's how fantasy gods work. But like besides that, he hasn't broken like double digits besides that 1 week. I swear to it. And one of it, like in the last game, was against the Atlanta Falcons.
I think do well. He certainly struggled against the Colts, but he was playing the Colts defense.
Exactly.
He also gets such a lion's share of touches, and his snap count is so high that I would hold on to him. And I don't think listen, he may not. If your team is good, maybe don't start him. Maybe put him on your bench. But I definitely would not be getting rid of him. And if you can trade for him now while his value is low, do it, because this is a guy that as the offense only gets better, he's going to be the one that benefits the most because he's out there every play. Yeah. And it's not like he's a dud, like he's a talented guy. He's just he's just had tough sledding against some tough defenses like the Colts. So I'd say hold on to David Montgomery. If you're looking for a running back that you can buy cheap now that may pay off in the future, make a move for David Montgomery. And if I'm wrong, then this advice was from Andy. We're on to our last section for the evening, which is buy or sell, where Andy and I discuss whether or not you should be buying into the hype for food, pop culture trends, sports, or really anything else going on in the world. We're going to kick it off with a pretty special topic tonight because, Andy, about an hour ago, you were treated to pho for the very first time. How was it?
Pho was great. I can feel it in my stomach, though, like a little bit right now. Yeah. It might be the combination of it might be the combination between I was completely honest. I
don't know.
I don't ever burp.
Bad. Well, I mean,
I don't ever burp. Anyway, all right. So
very talented.
the combination of beer and pho, or pho, apparently that I've just learned is how you actually pronounce it. Not a great combo, but pho itself was alright.
Yeah. Alright.
It was alright. It's glorified ramen, like ramen noodles. I feel like I could have gotten the same like thing from like a grocery store and like throw it in the microwave. And but pho was just glorified ramen noodles for me.
I couldn't disagree more.
I would sell it. I mean, I can see the hype behind it. They add a lot more.
It's especially in the winter when like you need something that is like hot and like spicy and like amazing. Listen, I hear people talk about pho all the time like it's their best thing in the world. And when it comes to buying or selling into that hype, I tell you right now, I buy in. I love that like if you want it to be spicy, it will be spicy. If you want it to be savory, it'll be savory. But it's up to you. You know what I mean? So the hype of pho, sell.
I would sell.
You're crazy. All right, I'm buying all day. It's amazing, especially in winter. It wasn't cold enough outside. Talk to me in a month. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we got Cincinnati chili.
Oh.
All right. When I first got to Cincinnati, all I was hearing about was how amazing Cincinnati chili was, and I was so hyped and I was so ready for it. And listen, it's grown on me a lot, but only when I'm drunk. That's the only time I can eat it.
The only time I've gone Skyline, actually like gone to purchase it, has been at Xavier games when I'm like a couple beers deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't had Cincinnati chili before, I want you to take whatever you're imagining with chili, all right? You know, you got your giant meat chunks, you got, you know, spices, and maybe it's a little hot. You got that Southwest flavoring. I want you to imagine that, and I want you to take away everything you like about it, all right? And then just put it on spaghetti. So it's spaghetti with just bad meat sauce. And some really nice shredded cheddar on top. That's the one part that I like. And that's Cincinnati chili. And it's not going to make you feel good. You're not going to be proud of it. But if you drank enough that day, it's pretty good. And they like to make a big thing in Cincinnati about like Skyline chili versus Gold Star chili. And it's this big rivalry.
Huge.
Let me tell you though, there's one X factor here that no one's considering. All right? And that is that Gold Star has been doing this all wrong from the start.
Well, yeah, everyone likes Skyline.
Now, I'm not talking about the chili.
Oh.
Gold Star burgers, okay? No, really, Gold Star burgers, okay?
You've gone you've gone to Gold Star. No one ever goes to Gold Star.
Listen.
It's always Skyline.
I'm not going to debate.
And then two, you went to Gold Star and you didn't get their chili.
So
they sell other things.
I'm not getting into this whole like Gold Star.
They sell other things.
Yeah, they do, Andy. And Gold Star burgers are freaking amazing.
And they're great.
Chili's.
They are amazing.
They are great.
You've had one?
Yeah.
They're so good.
Who
so
are you guys?
When I lived at Xavier, that was like the only thing we could get in the middle of the night, unless we wanted to walk to the student center. And I'm not gonna have Cincinnati chili every night because I don't hate myself that much. So I would get a burger. I tried a burger, and I'm telling you, like, it's not like a 5-star burger, but it is unreal. And Gold Star, for some reason or another, is not letting that enter the equation. I mean, you didn't even know they had burgers.
No.
I'm telling you, right now. Well, you can't right now. Tomorrow night, get a like their like bacon blue cheese burger, and just give me a call. To apologize.
I will never go to Gold Star.
Why?
Well, because one, I don't even go to Skyline.
You're not going to.
I'm not going to go. I take care of myself.
All right,
you know, I'm not going to go torture my body like that. I do not trust Gold Star burger whatsoever.
Name like a convenient burger place that you would go to that like you like. Like what? Five Guys? Do you like Five Guys?
Yeah, Five. Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably the first one.
Gold Star's better burgers.
No.
Not better fries, better burgers. With not even close. Not even close. Also 5-star burgers. Or Gold Star? No. Five Guy burgers. Sell all day. No. No, overrated. Absolutely
I'm
overrated.
not,
Fries are great.
I'm not going to touch it. Not going to touch
Gold
it.
Star burgers, buy. I'm telling you. Get it now. Buy it now. Before the hype sets in. There's no hype.
We
They're
want
underrated.
people to take this advice, by the way. We want people
And they will. After
We want
they
people to
try.
watch the show.
After they try a Gold Star burger, they will thank me. Do it. Do it. All right. Well, I think on that note, that about wraps it up for us with the winter forecast. I'm Max Winter.
And I'm Andy Batchelder.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.